This is Grimkeeper. Today we are looking at another dark mystery from the depths of the internet. This video is about a regular Finnish man with a horrifying secret. He did not like Super Mario Odyssey, but made a video about a possible sequel anyways. This clearly deranged man is actually the victim in this story, as he went missing soon after he posted the video. We will pick apart his video, trying to find clues on what really happened to him. This is his story. Hello guys, gals and gamers, and welcome back to another video. No, not to my bed, not that kind of a video. Okay, focus on me. Yeah, that's great. The video starts off playful, suggesting that everything was fine when he started filming. Okay, welcome everyone. And today I wanted to talk to you about Super Mario Odyssey. And why I wanted to talk about this topic right now is I was just thinking to myself, like 2022 seems very much a lot like 2017. 2017, of course, being the year the Switch released. We got massive cool games like Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, Xenoblade 2, and of course Super Mario Odyssey. And now, next year, 2022, we are getting Breath of the Wild 2, Splatoon 3, and then there has also been a massive amount of rumors about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So I was wondering, like, could we get Super Mario Odyssey 2? And I know this announcement, if it were to come, would excite a lot of people. And I kind of want to make a Super Mario Odyssey 2 wish list, but it's gonna be a bit interesting. This is where things start to go wrong. The victim claims to have not enjoyed Mario Odyssey. Many see this as a sign of years of emotional torture. Because of the fact that I personally work in games, I do game design, level design, that kind of stuff. So I know a fair bit about games and how they're made. And of course, Super Mario Odyssey is a wonderfully made game, but I didn't like it. So in this Super Mario Odyssey 2 wishlist, I will go over things that bothered me a bit about the original Mario Odyssey, and stuff that I hope they will expand and go and do better with in Super Mario Odyssey 2. So this is going to be interesting, but before we get into the actual list, I would just like to remind you guys to please like and subscribe. Comment down below. I really want to start a discussion with my videos, so I would really appreciate if you would just give me some feedback or just say a nice hello, and I will be sure to answer you. There will be videos every Monday, so stay tuned for those if you are interested in seeing more. The victim is clearly desperate. Commenting down below is a term often used by people in hostage situations to cry for help unnoticed. But yes. So the first thing I want to talk about that kind of bothered me in the original Super Mario Odyssey, that I think can be done a bit better in Super Mario Odyssey 2, is the captures. This is of course the main new mechanic of Mario Odyssey. For the next few minutes, the victim rants about capturing. It can be speculated that he knew he was about to be kidnapped. So you can capture and kind of possess enemies and play as them, which is a very, very cool mechanic and something I was kind of wishing they would eventually do in the Super Mario games. And we got that in Super Mario Odyssey, so I was pretty happy about that. But there are some problems with it as well. First of all, captures like the tree, cactus, letter, and that one piece of meat, literally piece of meat, that you could capture, they all like have the same purpose. So there's not a lot of variety, and there are other like captures that barely do anything, like the taxi cab or the what was it? The manhole cover. Yeah, they are very you can't do really anything with them. And so I was hoping in Super Mario Odyssey 2, some of these very, very basic captures would have at least some more unique traits or memorable missions or moons related to them. For example, I was imagining like for a tree, you could have done something like in the Wood Kingdom where there was a restricted area only for robots or something. Um, they would detect you if you were trying to go there as Mario, so they wouldn't allow you to go there. So you'd have to get an inanimate object or a plant to go there with. So you would have to sneak around this high-tech facility as a tree. Something like that would be really fun, and then just have like something more to it than just moving around and that's it. What are like specific things a cactus can do? Well, maybe it can shoot some of its spikes around, and maybe stuff would get stuck on it. Something like that would be interesting. I tried asking my pet cactus, like, what do cactuses do all day, what kind of traits they have, but that guy didn't answer me anything. The victim mentions talking to his pet cactus. This can be seen as an unfunny joke, but according to the Google research team, cactus is not an animal. So I was a bit disappointed, but something like that could be easily be done. Of course, not all of them need to have like a specific trait or something unique to them, but it would bring a lot more flavor into it. Like, hey, I got a new capture. What unique things can this do? And of course, you wonder about that in Super Mario Odyssey 1. But when you find out that there are a lot that just aren't the same, it's not so fun. At least in my opinion. And also, more levels uh, should be there to really test your skills with certain captures. There were a lot of cool captures in the game, but then there weren't like any cool spots to like test your skills with those captures. For example, the frog, which is the first capture you get in the game, which is a really good example of a capture because you have already gotten used to jumping with Mario, and then you capture a little frog that can jump so much higher. So you immediately get like, hey, this guy does something new. It's very cool, but you don't use the frog abilities much more in that game. So you don't really have the time to get good with it, or try to test your skills with the frog or anything. It's used very little, and this is the case for many cool captures, like the octopus in the uh, beach place, the Sand King. No, it wasn't the Sand Kingdom. It was the beach place. I don't remember what it was called, but the octopus that like shoots water, something like that. You only use that basically in that level, and afterwards you don't see it ever again. So it was a bit boring. Some of those uh, cool captures you never used again, and you don't really have time to test your skills with them. And then for like brand new captures, I was thinking like a giant robot would be cool, and just something like a whole cool mech thing that you could capture and control. The first Super Mario Odyssey, one of the coolest things you could capture was, of course, the dinosaur, and I think like a giant robot would be like really cool to have in the second one. No specific reason, I just like robots. I also like dinosaurs, but robots are cooler. And then I was thinking maybe some more classic Mario enemies like Monty Mole or Magic Koopa would be really cool to see. You can when you capture Magic Koopa, you could swing the wand and do magic on enemies, and they would like transform into coins, and maybe you could destroy like some blocks with it, and you could either like teleport around, which would be cool, or fly around, which would be extra cool. And then I also, one of the most disappointing parts of the first game, well, one of the most exciting parts was seeing that giant dragon that Bowser had. One of the most disappointing parts was me realizing that you cannot control it. So I just want to control that dragon. Please let me control a dragon.
Body language suggests he is genuinely sad. Bananas are a healthy breakfast option.
Okay, next up I want to talk about how to improve the kingdoms, or what you should do with kingdoms in Super Mario Odyssey 2. And yeah, I wasn't really happy with the amount of kingdoms in Super Mario Odyssey. There are 17 kingdoms in total, which is less than in Super Mario 64. And to make it even worse, 3 of those are basically glorified boss arenas. You have the Cloud Kingdom, you have the Ruin Kingdom, which was a really cool set, a really cool location. I was kind of sad you can't do anything more in it. And then there was the one of the moon, or I was darker, or the darkest side was just like boss rush, or bosses you have already played. So that was a bit boring. And as I mentioned, like 3 of them are moon themed, so that's a bit. Eh. And then also 2 of them are kind of like introductory stages. So you have the Cap Kingdom where you first arrive, and then you learn a few of the mechanics, and then it ends in a boss to test those mechanics that you have learned. And after that, you have the Fossil Kingdom. I think it was called Fossil Kingdom. I don't remember sure. But yeah, it basically has the same thing. Like you learn even more new mechanics. You get a few of your first moons. You revive the Odyssey, and then it ends in a boss. Which why couldn't you do those things in the same location? But doing like this is also fine, but it kind of gives you like a false image of what's the journey to come. When you have an hour into the game, you have already been to 2 places, and it's advertised as this journey uh, across the whole Mario world. So you will be visiting a lot of new exciting places, and that was already like 10% of what you got. So it was a bit boring. Um, Still, like very creative ideas with the kingdoms that we got. I like the Luncheon Kingdom. That was really cool. Cap Kingdom is like really cool looking in my opinion. So there's a lot of like creative ideas going on. New Donk City, of course, very memorable place. But I just want to see like less smaller kingdoms. And one other thing that I would love to see in Super Mario Odyssey 2 is just have more familiar places from the Mario series history. New Donk City was well executed, but I would also like to see like some places where Mario Kart tracks are made, like Maple Tree Way, or see the Rainbow Road somewhere, and maybe have like some kingdoms based on like the Mario RPG series. That would be really cool. I think Mario Luigi, what was it? Partners in Time had the Bean Bean Kingdom. That would be really cool to visit. I don't remember which Mario RPG that was, but yeah, something like that would be way more fantasy. And of course, like unique locations, they're fine as they are, but I would just like to see more like that, or maybe even Sarasaland, where the Super Mario Land game was set in, where you first met Daisy. That would be fun to see. Next up, just music. I'm not a big music guy, so I can't really. Something about the music bothered me. I felt like the Super Mario Odyssey soundtrack was just a series of highs and lows. There were some very, very good songs, but some very, like, forgettable ones as well. That's just how I felt like it, and some of those I just hated those songs. Like the shop music, I don't like that at all. And the music just in general didn't feel like Mario music. I can't really say why that is, but I just want. Do you know tracks for Super Mario Odyssey 2 and hope they are better? I can't really say anything about music design. I can't play any instrument, so this was well thought out. Yeah.
Something is now clearly off. He didn't even mention Jump Up Superstar. That's clearly the best song.
Then a little bit about like the structure of everything. I would like to see like more missions. You had some missions in Super Mario Odyssey, and a lot of them were optional, which I think is just great. That is great. I don't mind it at all that they are optional, but I would just like to have like more missions because I do prefer like a bit mission structured, some structure to your exploration in that game. I think they did very well in Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Galaxy, of course, being all very linear and all mission based. But the way Super Mario 64 did it is that you had missions, and then also in those missions, you can find more stars. But in the Super Mario Odyssey, it just felt like you had one mission and then 100 stars scattered all around, which I didn't personally like because after a while the moons just became meaningless because, well, this goes to level design a bit, but every time you wanted to go explore somewhere, every time you found something cool, the reward was basically always just a moon. And in a game where you have over 1,000 moons, that felt a bit like the moons didn't mean anything anymore, especially like a good part into the end game, like the post game. The just moons felt a bit meaningless to me. So I was just thinking like you could have more missions, and also in those missions you could have like moons you could collect, like a lot of them, sure. And maybe give like a different collectible for collecting those moons. I get why they made like grand moons or the triple moons or whatever the game called them. It's because to just say like, hey, you can just grab enough moons and that's good enough, which I like. Not having anything like too mandatory. You can just choose your own path on what moves you want to go after, what you can actually do. If there's something really hard that you can't get, you can just do something else. But even then, there was a bit too much options, in my opinion. But yeah.
The many mentions of moons was an important clue in the investigation. The police started guessing the moon was where he was held captive.
Maybe you could do like many missions at the same time. Maybe that could fix it. But yeah, I was just not a bit satisfied in the kind of structure of Super Mario Odyssey, and a lot of that has to just do with the level design, where I just felt like the game was very, very, very easy. It's at least like to play through it, it's just like a cakewalk. You just speed through it. Very easy game, and I would like to have some more challenge in it. And the level design is definitely where I have like the most issues with the game. And what it is mostly missing is like good platforming challenges. The movement in that game is very, very good, but the stages aren't really built for it. The movement is a bit too overpowered for the stages we have, in my opinion. Rarely I felt like I was at threat or there was like a very difficult jump and I was just like, ooh, this will really test my skills because I know I had the power of just bouncing off the cap and doing another jump, which was very, very good, but also like the stages were built for just regular jumping, someone who doesn't know all of those cool tricks you can do. So yeah, and basically every reward was a moon, which I explained previously, and there was just a lot of empty space in there. Just some of the kingdoms were just like empty space, nothing going on with them. and there was just set pieces apart, felt like, especially in the Sand Kingdom. This is definitely, in the Sand Kingdom, this is most apparent, that you just have cool spots, but they were just like empty area between them. I get it that it's a desert, but it's just like I would rather have everything be compact all together and have it be a bit smaller with lots of stuff to do than just a big area with stuff to do that are just apart for no reason. And final thing about level design is that what was with those areas that just have like colored blocks in a white background? Please don't do that.
Please don't do that. Another cry for help.
I know Nintendo often does that with Mario games. I don't like that. I never like that. That is, the stages are fun to play, but it's not like environmentally interesting level design. They just look boring. I know like Super Mario Sunshine did that with those like special stages where a flood was taken away. Sure, they are special stages. Super Mario Galaxy did that, but you're in space. It kind of makes sense that something might look a bit odd, or they are just blocks floating around. But in Super Mario Odyssey, that's no. And why do like some doors lead you to areas where it just looks like the stage? Why does some places just have a space theme, like that one area in Sand Kingdom where you had those rotating buildings in space for some reason, and then some places are just a white background with very boring looking blocks, one colored blocks. What's the deal with that? It's just I don't like when Nintendo does this. It just feels a bit like rush. Like, hey, we got this small stages, but we didn't have time to make any interesting textures for it. These are the prototype textures. It's just I don't like it. I don't like it. But yeah, that was kind of my rant video or wish list on Super Mario Odyssey 2. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think. What would you like to see in Super Mario Odyssey 2? Did you like the first Super Mario Odyssey game? Why did you like it? I still think it's a good game. It's a well-made game, but it was just a bit too easy. Didn't give me the challenge I want from a Mario game or a 3D platformer. So, yeah. But please check out my other videos as well, and remember to subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.
The victim was fortunately found 3 days after. When we questioned him for this video, he had no recollection of ever being kidnapped and looked very confused when we asked about him. He told us to leave him alone. This mystery might never be solved.